Firstly, and completely unrelated to everything else I'm going to discuss, the hair is back to black. It's black again. So, yeah. I meant to do it ages ago. I only got around to it today. But that's done, finally. It's nice. I like it. So, into things. Just want to mention that. The hair helps with these glasses because they look nice with the hair. And then it's missing. So, they look fine again, which I'm glad about. Enough of the hair bullshit, into the actual video. Okay, I am reading a book, and this book is a book I have to read for school. And, I'm not enjoying it, but, it's not the greatest, but it's very good, and I am enjoying it. But another book has just recently came out the other day that I really want to read, and also I have a huge bookshelf full of books I want to read. So it's kind of hard to focus all my motivation and attention on reading this book that I would never have heard of it were it not for school, and I would never have probably picked it up. But I'm reading it now for school, and I'm 300 out of 800 pages in, so I can't just stop. But I'm just trying to find that working of keeping on this book for the delayed gratification of those books, because I know those books are going to be good, especially the one that's just came out. So it's about balancing it, as I said. Is when I am in the same room as that book and the other books, I am obviously going to be drawn to the other books, because even though I may be enjoying that book, they have more of a personal interest in me and thus will draw me in more. A matter of resisting and controlling oneself against what may be personal, as opposed to, because this obviously reading this book is going to progress and improve, hopefully, performance in the school year, because I'll know it and stuff. But reading the other books will provide more enjoyment, of course. So it's a matter of prioritizing the progress rather than enjoyment. That delayed gratification, as I mentioned just now. So I'm trying to come up with tactics and trying to figure out what works best to sort of motivate me through what I know is beneficial, but might not be fully enjoyable. And, it's hard sometimes, but I do have some tactics. They sound stupidly simple, but honestly, the best thing to do is to constantly, and I mean constantly, every time you're like, oh, I should just put it down and start a different thing, or anything like that, is to just constantly be reminding yourself that this is the more beneficial alternative. This is the way that progresses you. Even if it's not enjoyable, you will get further from this, and that is more important than the enjoyment you will get, because the enjoyment will still be there if I chose to read the book I want to read 2-3 years down the line. But however, the benefits won't be there if I don't read this one now. So I need to sort of work on reassuring myself that it is the more valid and more important, progressively successful choice to make is reading this. There is working with situations and sort of trying as much as I can subtly. I know I'm doing it, of course. If I do something, I know I'm doing it. But you can kind of trick your subconscious sometimes, so you feel you're not doing it on purpose. But so I put myself when I'm reading the book I have to away from these books. So I won't read in here. I won't read somewhere where I would read one of them. I just change the sort of schedule and the sort of a sequence of things, so I'm not reminded that I have those books and that I want to read them more as much as I would if I hadn't. If that makes sense. And similar to the first, it is having a sequence of priority. You don't need to list it, or you don't need to write it out. You just need to kind of establish in your head that there is a set hierarchy of priority. This is much more important than this, and it is similar to the first step, but it is important to emphasize that as well. This is the final point. And this isn't just specific to just motivating yourself to focus on the more beneficial rather than the enjoyable thing. It's applicable to a lot of situations, but there's a funny noise. To a lot of situations, so it's basically drilling into your head the fact that though it may not be the most enjoyable, it is only temporary. That's a very good mantra to have for all sorts of situations, that whatever you're doing or going through or putting yourself into is a temporary thing. Nothing lasts forever, which can be a good and bad thing, that nothing lasts forever. But in this case, you focus on it as a good thing, because of course you will get through it, and you won't have to do it again because you'll have it done, so you can move on. And that is what you need to know, that there is a point where you will get to move on and do all these things. It's not going to be this one thing constantly, so on. Actually, there is another one, which explains this video as well. Social pressure is the most efficient fuel to getting things done. Because I'm going to make this video and I'm going to put it out there where I've stated all these things that I'm helping me get through, and knowing that I know them, but making this video obviously is going to show that. So now that people know that I'm showing this, I will have to finish it and not feel like a sham and not look like I've just made this for virtue signaling and shit. So that's why I made this, and that's also the final point. So yeah, this is genuinely just me trying to finish this book, motivating myself under the guise of motivating you, basically. But this doesn't have to just apply to books. It's any situation where there's a more beneficial opposed to a more entertaining. It's picking the right choice, basically. So that's what this is, and also the hair is black.